Dr. Gary Chapman wrote a fantastic book about 3 decades ago called The 5 Love Languages. And it's an extremely helpful concept that I definitely want you to understand and use on a daily basis in your relationship. But listen, you don't need to spend weeks reading the book to understand the concept. Just give me about 10 minutes and I can save you a lot of time in understanding this really, really helpful tool. So imagine that I needed to move my mother-in-law across town, let's say, and I asked, hey, can I borrow your pickup truck? And you said, yeah, sure, go ahead. So I borrow your truck, this big high-powered diesel truck or something, and I move my mother-in-law across town. And at the end of that time, I think, wow, that was so nice to let me borrow your truck. And so I think I'm gonna take it through the gas station and get it washed up and fueled up. So after I get it washed, as I'm about to fuel it up, I think, instead of using that regular unleaded, I'm gonna give it the premium unleaded. But the problem is when I start to drive to your house, drop off the truck is knocking and pinging it. It's just not working right. Something's wrong. What is it? Well, as you guessed, I put premium unleaded in a diesel truck. Dr. Chapman noted that, love is kind of like that fuel. There's several types of love, just like there's several types of fuel. And you have to give others the right type of love that they desire in order for them to feel loved. Just like you have to give your vehicle the right type of fuel. So here's the 5 love languages in no particular order. Number 1, touch. Now, for some people, touch gives them a huge feeling of love. Handshakes, high five, group hugs, side hugs, full body hugs, sex. For many people, touch is the primary way they feel love. In fact, in my professional experience, touch is the number 1 love language of about 95% of guys, which would explain why sex is so important to guys. It's not just the physical act and the orgasm that's important to guys. It's also super important to guys because touch is how so many men feel loved and emotionally close to the partner. Most men seem to crave touch. Let me say that again. In my experience professionally, helping thousands of couples probably, most men, and some women too, crave touch. If touch is your partner's primary love language, touch them a lot. Sex isn't just a want, it's a biological need. It's like giving water to someone thirsty in the desert. That one simple act can honestly improve your relationship dramatically. In fact, I can recall one woman who came to me for help with her relationship. And, in one of the very first sessions, I encouraged her to really lean into her partner's primary love language, which was, in fact, touch. I asked her, what might happen if you made love to your husband almost every day for a week or 2? How might he respond? And how might that impact you and your relationship? She came back about 3 weeks later and said, we're done with counseling. We don't need it anymore. I thought, man, maybe I did something wrong. But she said, no, my husband's meeting all of my needs now. He's so kind and loving and attentive. It's a miracle. I asked, well, what changed? She said, I did. I started giving him what he craved, which was physical touch, especially through sex. And that changed everything. You see, when you lean into your partner's primary love languages, whichever of these 5 it might be, it's amazing what can happen. So let's get on to the second one. Number 2, time. The second love language is time. For some, if you just spend time with that person, they really feel loved. When one of my boys, for example, was young, I came home from work and he was playing with his old tanks and trucks and army men and stuff in our playroom. And he said, Dad, will you come play with me? I said, sure, of course. So I set my stuff down and looked around at what he was playing with. And, I saw this tank. So I'm like, okay, so this tank comes rumbling through. And he goes, wait, don't touch that. Oh, okay. So I put it back down. And I said, so this helicopter, he flies in. And he goes, don't touch that either. So I put it back. And I sat there and wondered, what is it that he wants? And then it hit me. He just wants me to sit with him. He just wants my time. So if time is someone's primary love language, they just want you to be present with them. Just sit with them while they watch a football game or a chick flick or while they run errands. They just want you off your phone and being emotionally and physically present with them, not necessarily doing anything. Just be there with them. Number 3, words of affirmation. For some people, words like, I love you, thank you, posting, I've got the greatest wife or the greatest husband or partner, cause some people to feel very loved. In fact, in my experience, words are the second most common love language for guys, which may be why so many guys feel hurt and disrespected when their partner uses harsh words like, you're a loser, or you never do this or that, or you always do this or that. Many women have words as one of their primary love languages as well. Or when their husband, fiance, boyfriend, whatever, uses hurtful words or a harsh tone of voice, they can feel incredibly hurt. Words can hurt them. They matter. So be aware of the words you use. And if words are your partner's love language, fill them up. Fill them up with words of love and encouragement. But now for others, actions speak louder than words, which brings us to number 4, acts of service. This is in which, you do something nice for your partner. It's so very important for some folks, like picking up the dry cleaning for your partner, or doing one of their chores for them, or putting a fresh cup of coffee by your partner's side of the bed. Any of those kind of things can be really, really appreciated by folks whose love language is this. So one great example of acts of service that I know of was told to me by a bride in a pre-marriage counseling session with their soon-to-be husband when we were talking about love languages. It's pretty funny. She told me that, when she came home to visit her parents, her dad would frequently slip the keys out of her purse while she was talking to her mom in the kitchen or something. And he'd take her car to the local gas station to get it washed and gassed up. Then he'd come back, slip the keys back into her purse so that when she left, she'd come out, and to her surprise, her car is all shiny, gassed up, and ready to go. I was pretty touched by this sweet story, but her soon-to-be husband foolishly said, "You mean I gotta do stuff like that for her?" I told him, only if you want to be happy, my friend. Only if you want to be happy. Our 5th and final love language is gifts. Some people are truly touched when you surprise them with a gift. Now, note that the gift doesn't have to be expensive. That's not the point. It's not the cost that matters. A gift just means, hey, I was thinking about you and I knew you'd appreciate this. My mother-in-law, for example, she was great and is great at gift giving. One time she bought me a light for my grill for Christmas. And I said, this is fantastic. This will be great when I'm cooking out, because it's dark sometimes at night. And she said, I know. I remember over spring break when you were cooking steaks and you couldn't see if the meat was done. That was 9 months ago. She had made a mental note of that. My mother-in-law is great at gift giving, probably because giving gifts is one of her primary love languages, which brings me to 2 final points. Most of us give love the way we want to receive it. So if you like to receive love through gifts, you're most likely to give your partner gifts. But if your partner doesn't receive love the way you normally express it, you're going to be spinning your wheels, trying to show appreciation and love, but in the wrong way. Kind of like putting unleaded gas in a diesel engine. In today's homework and the weeks ahead, I want you to figure out what your top 2 love languages are and what your partner's top 2 are. Then give your partner the right kind of love that they crave a lot. I want you to overdo it. Be ridiculous in how much love you show your partner through their primary love languages. If your partner craves touch, overemphasize how much touch you give him or her. If it's time, make sure you spend lots of time with your partner this week. See how much it impacts your relationship. Seriously, go big. Do you want to see a transformation or, just get a little information here? Go big and your relationship will blossom. And one last thing. Don't be that guy or that girl who waits for your partner to step up and do it. And I've seen plenty of bitter, burnout, frustrated spouses who say, well, if my partner gives me the love that I want, the way I want it, then I might try. No. You lead the way. You be the first one. Remember, you are in charge of you. You change your behavior, and your partner just might change his or her. Enjoy. Hey, if you liked today's video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button and leave a comment at the bottom so I can know what you thought. Also, hit the subscribe button so you can see more video content like this.